Hi there.
Hi.
We're getting to that time of year where celebrations are coming up, and there's a good video already, which we really encourage you to watch, which is the ABC of Surviving Christmas.
Yeah, there's a link to it down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why we're doing this extra one is I think COVID has made celebration a much more potent thing this year. And I don't know what happened in other countries, but here we didn't even know if we'd get Christmas. It was in, out, lockdown, this, and I think in the end we were given about 32 hours to see people, and my daughter and son-in-law didn't travel on the train because they were worried about, So it was really overshadowed, wasn't it? It was pretty damp squid, really.
Christmas became a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the day it was on, but that's what it felt like, that kind of day in the middle of the week, which was kind of nondescript. And was a kind of, right, okay.
Yeah.
We've got turkey today, but apart from that, there was no atmosphere, there's no celebration,
Yeah.
We did do Skyping and things like that, but it wasn't the same.
See, my fear is that now, for a drinker, there's going to be like a COVID pass, get out of drunkenness free, because there's a lot of justification anyway in the drinker's head about being able to drink at Christmas, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at ourselves about, things that we're looking forward to coming out, I want to go shopping, I want to go out for a meal, I want to do you know what I mean? And you can understand for the drinker, it's, drink, go and socialise down the pub, go and do this, do you know what I mean? So, yes, COVID has made us feel deprived.
That's true. Yeah.
The drinker might not have been deprived of drink, but they would be deprived of this sort of company of drink and the sort of celebration of drink.
And the justification, because if there's one time of the year you don't stick out like a sore thumb, it's Christmas, because everybody's getting a bit merry and high. And so I think that my observation of my husband is he kind of tried to sneak in under the guise of Christmas.
Yeah, I used to say, it's all the amateurs are out drinking now, So, therefore, why can't I? I mean, it's
Yeah, and I think so. If the partner starts protesting, what comes out at that point from the drinker?
Protesting.
Yeah.
Well,
don't drink too much at Christmas.
Well, it sounds a bit humbuggish. You're sort of trying to kill Christmas. What is it, the Grinch? It's this
so we become that as the partner.
There's a film, I'm sure you've heard it, The Grinch That Stole Christmas, and it's got a green face and is horrible looking in a Christmas hat on, and you become that. You become that person, or you become the Scrooge, in British terms, so you're a killjoy.
Yeah.
A killjoy, that's all you are, Here I am, just trying to have a nice time, and and off you go.
And with COVID, that will be a bigger speech.
Yep.
And but actually, it isn't just a posture. You kind of, as a drinker, kind of felt that, didn't you?
Yeah.
It wasn't just an excuse to do it, but it was a justification inside.
Yeah.
That everybody's doing it,
Yeah, everybody's doing it. Why can't I?
Yeah. So our approach at this point is not to get into a full-scale war about it. No. I think the celebrations like Thanksgiving and Christmas, if you're trying to get your partner to stop, you're just going to spend Christmas getting really upset.
It's just not the time. I mean, if they've been drinking all this time, trying to get them to stop, no, that's not the time. Maybe New Year, New Year resolutions, that sort of time, That's got a different feel to it,
Yeah. So we suggest a pragmatic approach. Yeah. And to do a negotiation type of style. Now, how can the negotiations work? I mean, let me tell you about my negotiation with my drinker. Yeah. That I said, look, whilst the kids are around, have one drink at lunchtime, but just don't drink till about 6 o'clock after that,
Yeah.
I won't make a fuss. I won't, if you get really drunk, I might go into the other room. But, I'm not going to make your drinking feel awful, because that's often what the partner does.
Yeah.
The drinker's drinking and the partner's getting really fed up. And so that's a bad vibe, I think, for drinkers trying to drink. So we negotiated that I would be okay if he would protect our Christmas. And I can't say he did it every time, but generally... and I did really try to not be the disapproving wife at that point. I really tried to think it's his Christmas too.
Yeah.
So Christmas days weren't too bad.
Yeah. We talk about pragmatism. Why? Because these things might be achievable. And that's the first rule of goal setting. If you go in a goal setting course in management, the first thing is your goal must be achievable. Otherwise, it's just a pipe dream, and and it makes you feel even less in control if you've aimed too high and just can't possibly achieve it. So it is a negotiation, and a negotiation is the one side gives and the other side gives, so that you meet in the middle somewhere. It's not the ideal situation, it's just maybe the best that you can manage at that particular time. And so what Lou has done is about negotiate about time. Yeah. So if you're saying, well, the kids are around, let them get their Christmas over with and then start drinking. That's one possibility to do it. The other one is about amount. And the other one may be about what they drink. Don't drink spirits. Until afterward, just drink beer. So some of these negotiations, what he or she is getting is they're getting the alcohol that they want. They're getting to drink with you, allowing it, without actually the fight, and you're getting, maybe them drinking less or drinking at least later. So it's one way to survive Christmas. No, it's not the ideal situation. We know that. The ideal situation is that your Christmas present is them sober. That's the ideal situation. But the thing is, it's probably not going to happen. And because it's not going to happen, then, there's no point in setting yourself up for failure.
We want to be sensitive here to people that have perpetually had celebrations ruined. I have to say, with birthdays, I would often go out and be taken out for a meal, but my husband used to drink too much when we were having dinner, and then gradually he'd get more he'd start picking fights and become more oversensitive, and it used to be really horrible. And I've lived that, so don't hear here, oh, it'll be fine. We understand. It often isn't fine, but I think if he or she is kind of thinking, oh, it's Christmas. I think it's easier if you can give a bit of license at this point and think, well, it is Christmas, rather than it's bloody Christmas, because again, he's unhappy, she's unhappy, we're unhappy. So again, negotiating even the emotional kind of response to what's going on, particularly this Christmas, because everybody's going to want to kind of let their hair down. I think it's just kind of inevitable.
So it's about being realistic. I mean, there is a formula which suggests that the level of disappointment is the distance between expectations and reality. So if you set your expectations really high, then your disappointment can be fairly high. If you set them fairly low, then it makes it much easier.
The other thing is, just be clear about your boundaries, though. I think your partner, when he drinks, should be very clear that, if the behaviour starts being offensive, or, even if he or she looks drunk, it's not a good thing to look at. And so I think to establish that you might go in another room, like at 6 o'clock, I might take the kids upstairs and watch a video with them, again, negotiate not only terms, but also kind of territory, if you like.
The secret to really surviving Christmas is planning.
Yes, thinking ahead.
I mean, you plan Christmas. It feels like in this country you start planning Christmas around about February, and that's what it feels like here. the Christmas decorations go up really, really early, and you think, oh no, come on, I'm still buying sunblock. What am I looking at Christmas for, So if you put the planning, if you put a tenth of the planning into, what's going to happen regarding your drinking at Christmas, that you do into the food, into the celebrations, into the decorations, into the presents, if you put a tenth of that in, then it'll be fairly successful. Yeah. So if you plan beforehand, and this is when, part of your negotiations come in. Like, for example, if you went to a party and you decide, well, okay, I'm not going to hang about waiting for him or her to, come home. If they're getting drunker and drunker and drunker, I'm off.
Yeah.
The time to say that is not at the party.
Yeah.
That's a flashpoint.
Yeah.
But if you say it before you go to the party, you've already planned this in advance and said, look, if you do, then I'm, then it just goes much easier. So if you put a bit of forethought, a bit of planning into it, a bit of negotiation, it's much, much easier.
And if your partner is drinking and, beginning to get drunk, I used to really wince and feel ashamed. Actually, what I realise now is I needn't have been ashamed, because actually I was probably the most sympathised person in the room, and so people would think, oh, poor woman, putting up with him being like that. So you needn't worry about the shame. The shame is the drinkers. It's not your shame. Don't pick it up by mistake, because that would be awful.
Yeah, but that's the difference between guilt and shame, isn't it? Guilt is about what you do, and shame is about who you feel that you are. Yeah. And you feel that you are the husband or the wife of that drunk. That's
and
what you
in
pick
some
up.
ways you feel you should be controlling it somehow.
Absolutely, and there, like it or not, there is guilt and shame surrounding problem drinking. There's no doubt about it, real or imagined.
Yeah.
The thing is to try and divorce yourself from it and say, nope, no. And that's difficult.
The other thing is, there are probably people in your drinker's life that command a greater respect and better behaviour. Like, for example, I never ever saw my husband drink in front of his mum and dad. He just never would,
Yeah, my mum.
What?
I got drunk in front of my mum, but not very often.
Yeah. So if they're the deterrent, then suggest that you invite them round, or you go to them, or if he's better behaved, when friends come, because you don't want to make a prat, or she a prat of herself. Yeah. Again, this is deterrence. This is people. Again, think it through and plan ahead.
Just make sure it's the right friend that you invite round.
Yeah.
Not the one that encourages.
Yes. Oh, yes, quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
again, I had one or two of them.
Yes.
My wife banned them from the house. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're not saying it doesn't have its challenges. Of course, it does. But maybe some of these tips will head some of these challenges off at the pass.
So pragmatism.
Yeah.
Planning.
Yeah.
Negotiation.
And one final warning: never argue with the drunk. Don't take the drunk on, because it only makes the situation and acerbates it and makes it worse.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, in that case, happy holidays.
Yeah, very happy celebration from us.
Happy Thanksgiving, or Christmas, if you're watching us at Christmas, happy Christmas.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.